This video is also part of Scouts training. It's about 6:45 in the morning. It's dark out, as you can see. Those are two rags that I had to wipe up. Scout isn't house trained. I had to wipe up his pee with those, and there's also another little pile there that I put outside. And this video is really about, I want to talk to the governor of Massachusetts and the different rescue associations that are in the state. I have polyneuropathy, epilepsy, PTSD. I've had artery surgery, almost lost my right leg, and found out just a week after my other service dog died that I'm now having very little blood flow to my left leg. So medically, a service dog is important to me. I am taking this walk this morning without Scout for a couple of reasons. One, he has to realize that I'm not going to be there every second. When you have a service dog, the bond that you make with the dog is generally, in some ways, easy to make, especially when you get a puppy, because you're the only one in the house. Everything they need to get from you. Scout is a scent hound, which is different from my other dog, which was a sight hound. So the reason I want to direct this to the governor, I'm training Scout. I've had, in my lifetime, there's only been 4 years in my life I haven't had an animal of some kind. I'm in my 60s. I've had a total of 150 animals of different kinds. Most of those are made up by the birds I used to breed. Birds, cats, dogs, rabbits, hamsters, mice, and one rat that we couldn't get rid of. So I was trained as a animal rehabilitator, ducks, turkeys. I have a general idea of animals, but because of the way the service dog system is working right now, I'm being forced to train a service dog. And I want to address the governor because a service dog is vital for the veterans of Massachusetts. So a lot of veterans can go to a veteran agency and be matched with a dog. But I have PTSD, and I know veterans who don't want to deal with the VA or being processed by the government. They'd rather just have things work the way they need them without a lot of hassle. So I'm posting videos about how I'm training Scout, mainly because there are probably a lot of veterans that have to do things the way I'm doing. A friend of mine recently adopted or is on a list for buying an epilepsy service dog for her daughter, and she had to pay $17,000, and right after they got approved it went up to $23,000. That is ridiculous. When I lost my dog, I first started looking at writing a grant request, which is how a lot of people would have to fund a dog. And you kind of have to beg. Nobody should have to beg for a medical need, assistance, aid. Nobody should have to beg. And you have to frame it that you're more important than the next guy. That your disability is more, you know, how many veterans are going to do that? Veterans go first. So we have the MSPCA, Animal Rescue League of Boston, Northeast Animal Shelter. We have so many rescue agencies in the state that could be part of a very simple program of providing rescued, basic trained service dogs. So, how this is helping Scout today. He's a scent hound, so he doesn't like traffic, which is up there. This is the walk I have to do medically, with my left leg failing and having to train him and walk him because he was the best dog available. I had to give up the grant writing because I couldn't wait 2 years for a dog. And I looked, a poodle puppy. Poodles are extremely intelligent and care about their owners. Poodle puppy was $4,200. You have to be kidding me. So, Scout was affordable. He came up from the south out of the High Kill shelter. I think once I get him to understand a little bit of communication. It is control, but it's communication. And as he gets out of his puppiness, I think he'll be fine. But I have a fear he won't be fine. And simply because he's bigger than I thought. If he's part foxhound, he's got a different game plan than a beagle. All of this research I've had to do. Nobody should have to do if they have a medical need for a service dog. So what I've done today, because he's a scent hound, I have two things. He now knows, he's in his crate back at home. So he now knows he has to stay home sometimes when I go somewhere. And I can't have him barking all the time when I'm gone. I didn't hear him barking when I was leaving. But that's his one training thing. This is a good time to come up here with him to get him used to traffic because there isn't much up here. At the same time, yesterday, his worst moment was, you see the kids over there at the bus, his worst moment was when the bus actually came and stopped next to us. All of these different things are coming after the stress of losing a dog that she was a seizure alert dog and really like a nurse to me in many ways. So what I've done today is I've changed the scent of the house to pine oil so that we have a very specific scent to my home. And I've already given him that scent on a blanket, a little square thing. But now I have put that scent on my sneakers as I've walked around the block. And later I'm going to bring him up here and see if he picks that up and realizes this is part of our routine. Again, this is intensive thinking and training to try to approach any possibility that might come up with training a new dog. The whole process is, I've explained it a little. If you get a grant, then you get on a waiting list. The friend I mentioned who got an epilepsy dog, a seizure alert dog, she was on a waiting list for 2 years. She ended up, she's going to get her dog a little bit earlier because the agency she went through has a branch in Alaska, and they had a dog come up available. But she and her family, they have to fly to Alaska and spend a week training with the dog. Now come on. You get some guy or woman who's got PTSD the flight, the new faces, the socialization of dealing with new people, and they're working on adrenaline because the prize is the dog they need to survive. Why put people through that to get a service dog? Is my question, Charlie Baker. Why? Why do you have it set up like this? Because you're the governor. You've got animal rescue agencies. Why put the veterans through that? The ones that aren't comfortable going through the red, white, and blue agencies that, thank you for your service, thank you for your service. Oh, but we can't do that. We can do this, but not that. When people offer to help, they give what they can. I'm not criticizing any of the agencies that do provide service dogs. I'm saying it's not enough. And I'm not a veteran. I have a lot of military members in my family. I ended up with PTSD from a car accident. So the real reason I walked around the block is to desensitize me to traffic. And the dog is so I don't have to do that by myself all the time. Because traffic, cars, trucks, buses, cause seizures in me. So today I'm training a 5-month-old big puppy after going for a walk and pushing my own limits, both physically and with the PTSD. And I so hope this works out with this dog. But I had like 2 weeks of looking at every dog imaginable, seeing the prices, knowing they were out of my price range, or finding a perfect dog and then finding out that it was somewhat aggressive to other dogs. Luckily I found that out, or I would have had a problem. This is what people are facing when they have to find their own service dog and then train their own service dog to meet the ADA law requirements. So Charlie Baker, I think you need to look into this, and I think you can do more. Thank you. Well, I'm back, and as far as I can tell, he didn't bark. I think he's going to be a wonderful dog, but I don't know that yet, and he's young. And so what this instills in me is I have to train him right. I have to do it well. He has to do things well, and I have to do it well, because I'm going to end up with what I train. And again, the level of stress this puts on the actual person. Everybody loves a new puppy, especially when they go home and it's not their dog. Any issues he ends up with, any mistakes I make in training, I'm going to be living with. This is my one concern, is how big is he going to get? Because I have mobility issues. He could knock me over and I could hit my head. All of this, Mr. Baker, is survival. Whether it's me, a civilian with PTSD, polyneuropathy, epilepsy, a few other issues, or whether it's a veteran who has offered to go first for all of us. He's a cute little puppy, and so far everybody loves him. He has to be a lifesaver for me, and that's why I think you can do more.